Welcome. In this video, I want to demonstrate how you can allow cost center managers to report their performance on the device of choice in the Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations Enterprise Edition. So I'm a cost accountant manager, and I'm responsible for building up the tools so the cost center managers or the product unit managers can go and on a daily basis to see how their cost center or product unit performs. In cost accounting, I have created a security hierarchy under the dimension hierarchies. And that is my organization hierarchy here. And the way the security is enabled is that I mark it as an access list hierarchy. And when I go to view hierarchies, we can see that the fast tab users gets enabled. And in this case, I want to say that Alicia is responsible for the financial level of my organization. And that level consists of two cost centers, 011 and 094. And I'm doing that by simply assigning Alicia as the user for this level of my organization hierarchy in the cost accounting module. So now Alicia is the owner, but I need to also give Alicia access to see the data, and I'm doing that by clicking Alicia. And we can see here that she has a role called Cost Object Controller, and that is a role that is relating to the cost accounting module, and it will give her access to the cost control workspace, both in the client and in the mobile workspace in the mobile client. It's a team user license, so you can use this for all the cost center managers or product unit managers of your organization. They do not get access to any objects of how to configure or maintain the whole cost accounting itself. They only get access to the workspace, so they can see the performance of their cost center or product unit or what else cost object dimension member or dimensions that you want to give them access to. So I go back to my hierarchy. So I've now defined my organization hierarchy. I've assigned the users who are responsible for each of the levels of my organization. And before I actually put it into active mode, I need to go to cost accounting, to the parameters, and say, and now I want to enable security. And that happens under the general and enable view access, because that will allow you to build up the security model without enforcing it. Once you're happy with your definition of your security model, you simply go here and you enable it. Of course, you can always go into the dimension hierarchy and change who is responsible for the different levels or cost centers of the organization afterwards. So now I've done the administration. I've also created a cost object control here. I've also created a cost control workspace configuration. The one we will use in this exercise, I've created down here, and I call it actual versus budget, CP year to date, primary cost. I will just edit it here and remove the previous period and click save. And if I go as an administrator to the cost control workspace, down here, we can see, because I'm logged in as an admin in this case, that I have actually full access to the organization hierarchy. If we open up here, I can go to any level of the organization and I can see the data. So I can go to the CFO level and press OK. And I will get the numbers. And that's because I'm admin or a cost accountant for that matter. So if I look at how Alicia will see the data, if Alicia logs in into the web client, this is actually Alicia logging in. You can see here that I'm logged in as Alicia. These are the workspaces that she has access to based on her security configuration. And here is the cost control workspace. And if we go to cost accounting, we can actually see that she only has access to the workspace and to currencies. And all the cost accounting objects are not visible to her. She will probably always use the entries from the dashboard to go to the cost control workspace. And she can see the different report layouts available. And if you go to the last one here that we're using in this video, we can see if I expand the cost object dimension hierarchy that she can only see from upstream her level and upstream in the organization where she is. But if she goes upstream to the CFO level and click OK, the numbers won't change. It's just so she can see where in the organization her level is placed, but the numbers are filtered to what we have granted her access to see. And she can also drill into the numbers to see on which cost elements and so on the different postings are posted on. I don't want to do that in this video here. Instead, I want to talk about, and that's what my starting was, of the device of choice, because now we not only have the web client, we also have the mobile workspaces. And we also have the cost control workspace on the mobile platform. So if we go here, I have it in an emulator mode. And if we go here, you can see that I'm logged in as Alicia. And if I click cost control workspace, we can see again, if I go here to select, first of all, it's already pre-selected with data in this case. But if I go to the statements, we can see that in this dropdown, it is exactly the same list of reports that I can select from that I could do in the web client. Here I will click again this that we're using in this exercise here, on this video, sorry, and I will click done. And it refreshes the data. I can do the same for the cost object. And this is new compared to the prior version of the cost control workspace, is that in the new version or the new update, I can actually multi-select the cost centers that I want to look at. And when I multi-select like this, and then there's a security came in that we know from the security I did as an administrator that she only had access to cost center 011 and 094, and that's why these are the only two she can select. And we click done. So what the system will do is that based on your selection, it actually pick up a level in the organization hierarchy. So it does not pick the specific cost center, but based on the selections of cost centers, it translated into a level in the organization hierarchy in cost accounting, in the dimension hierarchy. And it displays that level for you to see that I'm looking at the FIM level of that hierarchy. Based on the selection, I can see in the statement configuration, the user, in this case Alicia, will be able to see the current period balance, actual versus the budget, the variance, and the variance percentage. So in the current period, we are actually doing okay. And if you look at the year to date, we can see that I'm doing less okay because I'm actually above my budget with roughly 5,000. We can also see based on the statement, which ties back to a cost accounting ledger, we can see which calendar it's using, the calendar fiscal, and we can see that based on the current period that we are moving in, which is the current period here, is year 2017, period 6. And again, based on the cost accounting ledger, we can see that we are working, so all the amounts that I'm looking at is in US dollar, which is also new in the new version that we have this information transferred on the mobile control workspace. If I want to see the details of the current period, I simply click on the tab here, and the system will then actually show me for all the cost elements where there are transactions, what the transactions are, and what the budget is, and if I'm above or below budget on each of the cost elements. So here we can see I'm doing okay on the salaries in this group. We can see my dental expenses are doing actually pretty okay. I'm my actual cost is below my budget. And if we go down to my electricity expenses, we can actually see that I'm above budget, and that's why it's red, and we are 4% above our budget. And we can see of our office expenses, we are even more percent-wise, more above our budget at least. So this is actually the device of choice where I can use the web client to get much more detailed information, because when she drill in, she can see much more detail than we can when we look at the mobile. But again, on the mobile, I can on a quick turn see the numbers, get an idea if I'm above or below my budget per period, year to date, or I can drill in and see very fast on which account is it that I need to be careful by spending. If somebody comes, an employee, and asks me in the hallway, hey, can I purchase this? I can very quickly go in and see, hey, is our cost center or cost centers above the budget on this classification of expenditure? So again, thank you for listening. I hope this was an inspiration for how to use the new mobile workspaces.